Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and it's been a while since I filmed a video. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. That's where I update everything and do updates about why I wasn't posting videos. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, my mom had COVID and I was responsible for taking care of her for the week that she was sick. And then I wasn't feeling well. I didn't get COVID, but I had some really bad chronic illness flare-ups, and so I was just unable to film for quite a bit. But now I'm back to get back into filming, back to posting. I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more regular now. I might miss a couple here and there, but again, I'll always announce it on Instagram if I won't have it up for some reason. But anyway, for today's video, I am going to be doing more Grumpy Sunshine recommendations. I did a Grumpy Sunshine recommendation video last month, I think, and I got so many comments on it of people saying that they would love a part 2. I adore Grumpy Sunshine romances. It's one of my all-time favorite tropes, and so I have many to recommend. In this video, I focused more on grumpy heroines with sunshiny heroes because that's what people requested. Not all of them are that, but the majority of them are grumpy heroines and sunshiny heroes, so I'll just let you know when I talk about the book which one is the grumpy one for that book. But other than that, we're just gonna get into some Grumpy Sunshine recommendations. So the first one that I have to recommend is one that has a grumpy heroine with a sunshiny hero, and that is Good Boy by Serena, Bowen, and Elle Kennedy. This book is a follow-up book to Him and Us duet by Serena, Bowen, and Elle Kennedy, but you don't necessarily have to read Him and Us in order to read this one. You should if you haven't. It's fantastic, but you don't need to. This one is the sister of one of the heroes from Him and Us, and the best friend of the other hero from Him and Us. So Blake Riley is a super sunshiny, smiley character. He is very silly. He's very confident in himself. He's very just constantly has a smile on his face, talks in a way that people kind of are like, what the hell are you talking about? He reminds me a little bit of Dean De Laurentiis from the Off-Campus series, just in that like ridiculous way he talks, and just like he's always having fun, and he's always just in a good mood. And his relationship in this book is with Jess Canning. Jess has had it rough a little bit the last couple of years because she has no idea what she wants to do with her life. She has kept having these ideas of like, this is what I'm gonna do, and she starts this company or starts this job and she puts a lot of her effort into it and then realizes that she hates it, and she really feels like a failure and is just not doing great. She's just down in her luck, doesn't feel happy, she's just like not into anything. But she recently has decided that she thinks that she's found her calling, and like more so than she has in the past. She's like, this feels right, this is what I want to do, and it's a very different thing than all of the other attempts that she's tried. And her decision is that she wants to be a nurse. However, her parents are apprehensive about it because they've put so much money into all of her other endeavors, and nursing school costs a shit ton, and so Jess ends up moving and going to nursing school and starting over at school in her late 20s. So she and Blake end up in this relationship where he is chasing her, but she's like, I can't deal with you, I have to focus on this. Blake takes it upon himself to chase after her, and he's like, no, we're good together, we work together, you need somebody like me. And it's so cute, it's so great. It is a serious comfort read for me just because of how adorable and fun Blake is, and their relationship ends up working out so well, and in a weird way they do really match together, and it's so good and I would totally recommend it. The next one that I'm going to recommend is another one that has a grumpy heroine with a sunshiny hero, and that is Always Only You by Chloe Leese. This is another hockey one. The heroine in this, his name is Frankie. She is the, I believe, the social media person for the hockey team, and then Ren, who is the hero, who is the sunshiny character, he is a hockey player. Frankie has both autism and she has rheumatoid arthritis, so she deals a lot with the chronic pain from the rheumatoid arthritis, which is something that I related to. I don't have rheumatoid arthritis, but I do have chronic pain, so her struggles with that was very relatable for me, and it's one of the reasons why I do love this book so much. But Frankie is a very take no shit character. She's very much like, she walks with a cane, and rather than letting it be something that she's embarrassed about, she uses it as like, she's obsessed with like wizards, and she uses it as like a wand, and she waves it around, and she really just like doesn't want to deal with other people's criticism of her. Like, she's not a smiley person. Ren, on the other hand, is a very big sweetheart. He's such a softie, and he and her develop this absolutely amazing relationship. It is one of my all-time favorite books, and I can't even say that much more about it. Just read it. It's amazing. The next one is one that has a grumpy hero and a sunshiny heroine, and that is Bittersweet by Serena Bowen. This one is a small town romance with a guy named Griffin who runs his family's orchard and farm in Vermont, and a woman one day comes driving up his driveway and her car gets stuck and he has to help her out, and it turns out she is actually somebody he knew from college. She is this like big city rich girl who is in Vermont in order to, or in this small town in Vermont, in order to talk to the farmers about selling their products. But she works for like a big name like store or restaurant that wants to buy the products at very, very small prices, and Griff makes it very hard for her. He is like, absolutely not, that is not a good price for our products. He like turns the whole town against her and is like, do not sell to her because you deserve more money than that. And he kind of makes her life really hard. But she has a very upbeat attitude about things. She's like, I gotta do this, I'm gonna be able to do this. Whereas Griff, his family refers to him as Grumpy Griff, and it's just the most ridiculous. And he tries so hard not to like her, and it goes horribly wrong because he ends up falling completely head over heels for her, and it's adorable, and I love it. The next one that I have is another grumpy hero with a sunshine heroine, and that is Unraveling Him by Claire Kingsley. This one is another small town romance, and it is a sort of reclusive hero. He is not super reclusive, but he does live on like the outskirts of the small town. He distances himself a bit from his brothers and his family. He just doesn't he doesn't go out with them, and he feels very like he likes to be alone, or thinks that he deserves to be alone. And he is a mechanic, and the heroine, whose name I can't remember, she has to leave this bad situation, and she has only ever met Evan once, but Evan sort of made an impression on her when they met. She like was drawn to him, and so when she leaves this bad situation, her car is starting to break down, and so she drives directly to Evan and offers him this deal where if he lets her fix her car in his mechanic shop, then she will get him this classic car that he really needs. And they form this like alliance, but Evan is a very grumpy person. He does not want to have this girl in his space. He doesn't want to have to deal with her sunshiny attitude, but he really needs this car, and he agrees. And they end up driving across the country to go pick up this car, and the heroine's sunshiny attitude with them stuck in the car together for hours on end is hilarious. It really forces Evan to like take his walls down, and she like cracks through his walls really well. And the heroine is so sunshiny. She's so adorable. She's so herself, and I love her. She's so funny. She talks to her plants and gives them like old lady names, and it's the most hilarious. I just have had such a fun time reading it, and I would 100% recommend it. I love the way that their relationship develops. It's hilarious, it's wonderful, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend it. The next one that I have is a grumpy heroine, and that is Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. This is book 2 in the Ice Planet Barbarian series, and it's my favorite of the 3 that I read. And this one is about the heroine, who is one of the women that were taken to this planet and are stuck now on this planet. She's a human woman, and she has this... Okay, so if you've never read Ice Planet Barbarians, these human women get kidnapped. They crash land on this planet where they find out that this race of aliens lives there, and they find out that in order to live on this planet and survive on this planet, they need to have basically what is a parasite, a symbiotic parasite, put inside of their body in order to survive the atmosphere of the planet. And so all of the women are like, we don't want to die, we will agree. The parasite doesn't harm them in any way, but it does change their body chemistry in order to survive on the planet. And it also resonates when they find their mate. And so the alien men start finding the mates with the human women, but the human women don't respond because they don't have this parasite inside of them. And so the human women decide to get the parasite, but one of the women, who is the heroine in this book, she freaks out when she realizes like what it is, what it looks like, she's like, I don't want this, but ends up getting it, and then her mate, the man who is her mate, kidnaps her and takes her away from everyone else because he wants to have a mate. He's always wanted to have a mate. He's a very barbarian type alien. He doesn't spend a lot of time with the tribe. He doesn't interact with people well, but he's secretly a sweetheart, and all he really wants is to have a mate. It's all he's ever wanted. And so he kidnaps her in order to convince her to like him. And so he is a very sunshiny character, but he doesn't know how to be. And he really, they can't speak to each other. They don't know the same language, and so they have to figure out ways to interact, and he's trying his absolute hardest to like flirt with her and to attract her and to be kind to her, but he doesn't know any human customs. And she, as the grumpy heroine who does not want to be there, is like, no. She messes with him. She tries to run away. She really like teases him and like makes him think certain things about him, human customs that are just ridiculous. And she ends up, throughout this time where they're stuck in this cave together, to really softening to him. She really realizes how much of a nice guy he is, even though he has a hard time coming across that way. So it's really adorable, and I really liked it, and it's just very different than other ones that I've read. Then the next one that I have is another grumpy heroine, and that is Broken Vow by Sophie Lark. This is part of the Brutal Birthright series. Riona is a lawyer who is the grumpy heroine, and she's a take no shit character. But when her life is threatened, she has to expose her vulnerabilities and her insecurities and her fears. And Raylan becomes her bodyguard. Raylan is stoked to be her bodyguard. He is so excited, because not that she's in danger, but that he gets to spend time with her, because he likes her, and he is so excited to have to spend time with her. And Riona is not excited at all. She's like, absolutely not. I do not want this, but she's afraid. And so she agrees. And they end up having to spend all this time together. He moves into her house. Then they end up going to his childhood home in Texas, I believe, on his family's ranch. And it's so good. Riona is one of my favorite female characters ever. This book is absolutely amazing. 5 stars, 100% my favorite book in the Brutal Birth Rate series. I loved it. And I would 100% recommend it. It's also a mafia romance, but it's like mafia light. Like, it's not overly mafia. So if you're looking for something that's just like a taste of mafia, the Brutal Birth Rate series is a really good way to go. The last one that I'm going to talk about very quickly is Teach Me by Olivia Dade. This is another one with a grumpy heroine and a sunshiny hero. This is a workplace romance. They're both teachers. The heroine is excited to start the school year with her own classroom. She has wanted her own classroom. This is the first year that she's able to get her own classroom and to decorate it her own way. And she also loves teaching higher level, like AP type classes. That's like her favorite classes to teach. But her principal informs her that they're having a new teacher come in. He is going to have to share her classroom with her, and they're giving him her upper level classes. And she is pissed. She is so not happy about this. But the hero, he doesn't realize that this happened. He doesn't realize that she was supposed to have her own classroom. He doesn't realize that he took her classes. And so she is pissed off, and she is very not nice to him at first because she's not happy about the way that things turned out. But the hero ends up really like working through it with her. He realizes what happened. He apologizes. He's like this, and the heroine understands like that it's not his fault, and she gets over it. But it's very, very good. I really liked it. It's a very realistic style of romance. The hero is also a single dad, and his daughter is in the heroine's class, so it's very funny when the daughter is talking about how much she loves the heroine as a teacher, and the heroine is like not nice to the dad, so he's like, she sucks, but the daughter is like, she's amazing. So it's really, really good, and I really liked it. It's my favorite Olivia Dade that I've read so far. So but that's it. That's the last one that I was going to recommend for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of these, if you have another Grumpy Sunshine that you like, all of the above. But that's it. So please subscribe so you can see more content from me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.